Hi, my name is Dominic Bradley, and I play Thomas/Kashemski.
My name is Nathan Schultz, otherwise known as the Drama Merchant.
Hi, I'm Jenna Baker. I'm otherwise known as Vanda or Wanda, depending on who you ask. Or Venus.
Oh, it's a nightmare. It's one show closer to it all being over. I can't wait.
One show closer to being done with you, Dom.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I don't want it to stop. I wish we had a 4-week season and 3 shows a week, 5 shows a week. You know, it's been awesome. It's been really cool that the rehearsal process has been stripped down to the essential time we needed. So, in comparison with another show where you may be called in 3 times a week, for 3 months to sit there and twiddle your thumbs and occasionally get on stage and dance a little bit, versus here where Nathan only called us if he needed us. We were used every second we were here. If he called an extra rehearsal, he made sure we could afford to get to that rehearsal. I think that's been a really awesome part of the process, that we've just come and done our jobs and not had heaps of faffing around time.
The idea behind the Drama Merchant putting on live performances has come from my time in community theatre, where we always had to share our time. Because I'm trying to build a independent pro-am side of my theatre company up, I work with my actors, and other directors who will be producing through me will learn to work with our actors, because we all have jobs to do and we have to have a work-life balance to everything. So we stuck at 1 rehearsal a week, a few couple tucked in when we could. Sometimes we were just sitting down and reading and pulling about part the play, which was something really good for Venus and Fur, which helped us when we did get up there to block some stuff out. But the idea is it's collaborative. We collaborate in the best way we possibly can for this show and for the entertainment of the audience. If we can't do that in 1 rehearsal a week, I don't know what else you can do.
Hi. It's been a fun rehearsal process. I think mainly because we have been changing stuff up to the very, very last minute, which is stressful as hell. But if it's not stressful, then we're probably doing something wrong.
But mind you, you guys have only had 8 rehearsals. If we had another month up our sleeve as we were rehearsing, we would have actually come closer to that process.
Yeah, but I think it's been good not doing that process, because I'm pretty new to all this, but the idea that everything is changing so much, and as actors, I know that I felt like I've had a lot of input. If something doesn't feel right, I can just say, look, I don't think that this is what she thinks at this moment, and I think Dom's had a lot of that as well, and we've been able to discuss and bring our own ideas in a lot, and that hasn't been an issue. And I think that's just been really good for the process in general, and making it feel like the characters are relevant to us and alive to us, and hopefully that comes across.
Well, you guys are giving me organic, which is what I was looking for.
It's to go back to the idea of versus doing a musical or a really big play with lots of characters, there's so many moving parts that you don't have time to give input. There's a job to get done. You have to get the scene directed and get onto the next thing. Having a small little intimate show like this and an intimate little facility like Motet, where there's just a small crew that we're working with as well, it meant that we can all just collaborate together. As actors, we've been able to give input on the lighting, on the sound, and the crew here were fantastic at taking those suggestions on board, and our director was fantastic at taking those suggestions on board as well. So it really feels like, I don't know for you, Jenna, but for me it really feels like something I've helped put together, and that makes me so much more proud of it than just being an actor inside the play.
And we've still got another 5 more shows to come in May. So once we've had a bit of a break for the next 4 weeks, which we all deserve.
And reblock everything.
The guys will be learning to reblock the whole show for 1 location up in Brisbane, which is a bar. And then they come down here and do the same blocking in here for 2 shows. So that they performed here, which is something I'm really looking forward to working with the guys with, because I've never gone through that before myself. So I've only done it once with 1 show that was set around the table, but even then that had to be reblocked, and I only had 1 hour before it was to go on at a particular fringe festival to re-rehearse and reblock everything before we started it. So I know I'm up for the challenge.
And I'm looking forward to going up there and going to the bar and doing the wrong blocking and walking into walls. And at least that will be funny for some people, hopefully.
I'm just just happy I'll be able to buy alcohol while we're in the play.
Well, that's
yes,
it. When we
like this.
when we
This is
actually
wonderful.
perform it at this undisclosed location that I'm unable to say it right now due to a what do they call it? Disclosure, an NDA. We'll be able to do a little bit more with it, where we can utilize the bar and certain settings within this bar to make it even more intimate for audiences to see what goes on. So I really look forward to that.
Okay, Dom, Jenna, both of your mums were in the audience today. How did that make you feel?
Well, I felt like Mum was, for a small brief moment, living out the fantasy that died when I came out to her when I was 18. So, yeah, I think, you know, for a small brief moment, she could suspend her disbelief that her son probably won't give her grandchildren. Ask uncomfortable questions, get uncomfortable answers.
I didn't even notice where my mum was sitting, to be honest. So it really didn't cross my mind when I was going through so much. I think that I'm just at that point where I'm kind of going, meh. I'm kind of comfortable like walking around in lingerie and stuff. I'm kind of considering it as like being at the beach. So like you wear as much as you do at a beach anyway. So, you know, if people have a problem with it, it's what it is. Apparently. But I think, yeah, what I heard when I left was that at certain moments, Mum was like hiding behind her fan and stuff, which is interesting. And apparently when I have this part where there's a phone call to Stacey and I jump up and down like a dog going, he's fucking me like a Weimaraner, and I have to do all these sexual noises. And apparently she did have her fingers in her ears at that point, which people were laughing at.
I really, I mean, well, I don't really want to know, but it'd be interesting to know how my mum reacted to the scene where I'm lying on the ground with you on top of me.
Oh, she liked that. I watched that from just across. She liked that.
There were
Thanks, Nathan.
comments. I was
She
actually
did.
hearing when there are a couple of times where I had to grab you and when I first slap you and then like throw you on the couch.
Yeah.
I heard comments from the front audience going, "Oh my gosh, what is she about to do to him?"
Come see and find out.
Yes, no, your mum was quite funny watching that.
Mum was funny to watch. I was watching her the whole show and laughing.
Breaking the fourth wall, bad actor.
No, I wasn't really.
Don't
But
make me take
there
out
was
that
one
whip.
point I did break character tonight because a glass rolled at my foot and I thought I was going to step on it, so I had to look at it to make sure I didn't. But yeah, for the briefest moment, I was like, okay, I'm good. So thanks, Mum.
Ghost glass.
What was your first reaction when you first read the script?
Ooh, good one.
I first read this script in 2015 after I finished doing a show called Accomplice at Javine Bar Theatre and fell in love with it. Because, strangely, I saw a lot of myself in the lead actor of Thomas, the lead character of Thomas. So I associated
That's why you
a
cast
lot-
someone so handsome.
That's
in that
right.
role.
I needed someone as handsome as I could be. You know, this grey hair is, doesn't help a lot. But I fell in love with the dialogue. I fell in love with the concept, and I never saw it as a stage show. I saw it as an immersive experience for the audience to see what actually happens behind the scenes. And working with these two and deconstructing the script, I fell in love with the feminine aspects that were rife throughout the script. Absolutely fell in love with the empowerment that was there, that we drew out of it, which is very different from a lot of other people who've done the show. So, to me, the script is just brilliant for today's society, what we live in at the moment. That's my view.
I first read it last year. Nathan contacted me about the potential for doing this play and would I be interested and did I want to read the script and make up my mind about whether I'd be interested in the future. And so he did, and I loved it. What jumped out to me was the amount of layers to the story. There's the two characters, Thomas and Wanda, then they play characters within the show, and then there's moments where the subtext of Thomas is Kashemsky coming out, and there's moments where the Kashemsky's speaking, but the subtext is Thomas. And then there's, they switch up even more so as the play goes on and adopt different personas. And it's a very nuanced, very layered piece, which I loved, because I loved the idea of how do we explore that physically? How do we explore that in the light? How do we explore that in our voice? So on and so forth. It really did allow us to play, as you say, yeah.
Well, I first read it, and I haven't really read much theatre stuff, so I kind of read it and then watched the Roman Polanski film, which is totally different. It's kind of based with an older couple, and the whole dynamic is a lot slower and just very different. And then I actually went and watched a couple of productions of the play that I found online as well, and I was like, I enjoyed them, and I kind of got to the end of them and I was like, it just doesn't feel right. And I liked them, but I could just feel that, no, the character should be thinking this or this, and I just didn't feel like what I was seeing was right. And I think that made me realize that I kind of related a bit to Vanda, and there is a lot of her in me that I see, so I kind of found her fairly easy to play. At least the crazy, spontaneous part of Vanda, I feel, is kind of is me. So
I think the trickiest part to Venus and Fur for anybody to do it is to allow yourself to explore the roles of each character, including the director, and how to put it on. This play allows you to look at aspects of yourself and have that conversation either with yourself or with your partner about certain aspects of yourself that comes out. And I think that takes a lot of balls to do from a directing point of view, because you've got to deconstruct it and find ways to help the audience to understand and to connect it, and even from actors' point of views, to do something that is so challenging that I'd asked a couple of other women in the past who might be interested in doing Venus and Fur, and none of them were interested in doing Venus and Fur because of the challenge that it gave them. And I feel if you're not up to that challenge, then you're not challenging yourself. That's how I like to